Hi guys, and welcome to a new video on Formula Update. In this video, we are going to talk about Pierre Gasly. The current Alpha Tauri driver will drive for Alpine next season. They are undoubtedly very pleased with their new French signing, but there is something they won't like about him at the moment. Pierre Gasly might be suspended for a race, and that might be sooner than you expect. He has gained a lot of penalty points this season and has almost hit 12 penalty points in 12 months. If you hit the 12 penalty points, you will receive a race ban. The French driver has 10 points after the Mexican Grand Prix, so he only needs 2 more points to get a race ban. You gain penalty points for a number of different incidents. He received his last one for the incident he had with Lance Stroll during the Mexican Grand Prix. He pushed the Canadian driver off track and received a 5-second penalty. A time penalty goes together with penalty points. A 5-second penalty, for instance, is 1 penalty point and a 10-second penalty is 2 points. You can also be penalized during practice sessions and qualifying. Drivers have, for instance, collected penalty points for not slowing down for yellow flags. Gasly has had 6 incidents this season which gave him penalty points. In Spain, he crashed into Stroll which spun him round at the first corner. The stewards gave Gasly a time penalty and 2 penalty points. These were Gasly's first 2 points. In Austria, he had his second incident. He crashed with Vettel and pushed the Aston Martin into the gravel. Gasly was down the inside and pushed Vettel wide. This is a move that a lot of drivers try to pull off, but in that corner it almost every time ends up with one car in the gravel. For this incident, he also received 2 penalty points. His third incident was in the same race. He repeatedly exceeded track limits during the race. These also awarded him a penalty point, and of course a time penalty just like the other incidents. After Austria, it took Gasly 3 months for his next incident, but he managed to have 3 incidents in 3 races. During the Japanese Grand Prix, he drove too quick during the red flag. He drove quicker than 250 km per hour in the pouring rain during the red flag situation. The stewards really didn't like that. For this incident, he was again rewarded with 2 penalty points. The next race in the United States, he had another incident during a neutralization of the race. Just like Perez did in Singapore, he left too much space between his car and the car in front. You need to be in 10 car lengths of the car in front, but he wasn't close to that for some time. This resulted in another 2 penalty points, which brings his total up to 9. So last race in Mexico, he had his incident with Stroll which gave him his last penalty point to make a total of 10 penalty points. He really needs to watch himself for a relatively long time. His first points that will expire on May 22nd in 2023. This means he can't gain 2 more points in the coming 9 races. The last 2 races of this season and the first 7 of next season need to be clean. Gaining 2 penalty points is very easily done, and looking to his current form and record, he will get those last 2 points if he is not careful. Some of his penalties have been a bit harsh, especially in the last 3 races. The penalty in Japan was a bit controversial. Gasly was very shocked about the tractor on track during the red flag. It was a lethally dangerous situation and he was very upset. He was very vocal on the radio while driving and it looked like he had lost his temper for a moment. Although this is understandable and most people have empathy for that situation, it is still unsafe to go that quick around the track while there is a red flag, especially in those treacherous conditions with the heavy rain and poor visibility. So the penalty is applied correctly, although it seemed a bit unfair given the circumstances. The penalty during the US Grand Prix, however, seemed odd for most people. It is true that he left more car lengths of space, but it could be very well explained. The car had accelerated very quickly, so Gasly needed some time to respond. He left a lot of extra space, but these cars accelerate fast, so that gap grows swiftly. But the most controversial part about the penalty was that he was the only one that got a penalty, although there were more drivers that made the same mistake as he did. It looked a bit like the stewards were paying extra attention to him because of the way he criticized the FIA and stewards after the Japanese Grand Prix. Although this is probably not the case, it is still strange that he was the only one that got a penalty for that incident under the safety car. His last penalty was a slam dunk. There was a gap, but he didn't make the corner and pushed Stroll wide, whilst gaining the position. If he gave back the position, it would have been better for his penalty points, because he could have avoided those in that case. But he didn't, and now he finds himself in somewhat of a tough spot. We hope he doesn't get to the point of a race ban. But it is an interesting thing to think about what would happen if he got a race ban. When Jack Doohan gets his F1 debut, he has had his first drive in the current F1 car at the Mexican Grand Prix. and his debut season in F2 has been a great one. He is a real title contender for next year if he chooses to race in Formula 2 for another year. It would be exciting to see the young Australian driver take part in an F1 race, just like the surprising substitution from Nick de Vries in Monza. It would be great to see him displaying his talent on the big stage. It could be a slingshot to F1 and a big boost for his career. One great debut can bring a lot in motion. We only need to look at Nick de Vries. He looked like he needed a miracle to get in F1. Everybody knew he was fast, but in Monza he showed a lot of skill, determination, adaptability, and speed. So Jack Doohan might not say it, but he will surely hope to get that opportunity. It will be interesting to see whether Gasly is changing his approach the next races or not. Holding back is not something that is part of a Formula 1 driver's DNA. But if he doesn't, a new penalty and a potential ban are right around the corner. What do you think? Will Gasly receive a race ban? Or will he stay out of trouble for the next 9 races? Let us know in the comments down below. That is all we got for you this time, but we will be back with more soon. If you liked this video, please click like. If you want to stay up to date on the latest F1 news, please subscribe to our channel. If you want to watch another video, click on the box to the left. We will see you next time.